Is spirituality only for rich? What is the relationship between spirituality and money? And is the spiritual journey not for everyone? We will discover all this by the end of this video. So we will understand the relationship between money, spirituality and the nature of reality through 4 sections of this video. The Adhvaitha channel is about conscious living and conscious creation. Here we explore Vedanta and various spiritual scriptures from India to understand the nature of reality and to consciously create our lives. Section 1 is about introduction to this topic. Money is a significant aspect of each and every one of our lives. Whatever we do, we need money to do it. Whether it is our health, whether it is education, whether it is taking care of our families, for all this we need money. But when we think about money and when we think about spirituality, usually for most of us, these two concepts seem like they are opposites. And it seems to most of us that we cannot have one along with the other. But is this actually true? What exactly is the relationship of money and spirituality? It is very important for us to understand this because I think this understanding is important to live an abundant and a fulfilled life. In section 2, we will look at the teachings of Osho. I think many of you are familiar with the teachings of Osho, or at least you have heard of Osho. Osho was a very controversial spiritual teacher, but if we look at his life and his teachings carefully, we can get a profound understanding on the nature of reality. Osho once said this about money: I respect money because to appreciate fine things in life, to enjoy art, literature and even spiritual life, one needs to be free from hunger and poverty. He also said wealth can give you all that can be purchased in life. Everything can be purchased except love, freedom, spiritual values, enlightenment and fulfillment. Life needs money. Life needs comfort. Life needs food, clothes, houses, literature, music, etc. So denying money is denying life, he said. So Osho lived a very abundant life. He was famous for having around 90 Rolls Royces at his disposal. So he lived a very extravagant life and he taught spirituality to the world. And through his life, he was pointing towards something very significant. We will understand this in the next part, but I also remember in one of his videos, he was talking about how this existence, how this entire cosmos is an organic unity and there is no actual split between materialism and spirituality. He used to say everything is spiritual and everything is spirit, and a division between spirituality and materialism is simply a fiction. With this, let us come to section 3 where we will look at Swami Vivekananda's teachings on this subject. Now to be clear here, Swami Vivekananda was a strict Viragi. He was totally detached from the world and he always stayed away from extravagance and materialistic life. I remember when I was young, my parents had got me this small book which had various stories on the lives of Swami Vivekananda when he was young. And in those stories, it was said that Swami Vivekananda was extremely charitable even as a young kid. If someone was in pain, if someone was in suffering and if someone needed something, he always used to give them whatever he could, whatever he had. This got him in a lot of trouble. Because of this, he was sometimes imprisoned in his own house. He was locked down in a room within his house because he was simply giving away different things from his house. But even then, when he was locked within his room, it seems he was giving away things through the window. He had this innate quality of giving and kindness. But in one of his quotes, he says it is a crime and it is an insult to teach spirituality to a starving man, thereby pointing out the importance of money and importance of comfort in one's life, even to seek spirituality. And now I will read some of his quotes directly. Man stands in materialism. You and I are materialists. Our talking about God and spirit is good, but it is simply the vogue in our society to talk thus. We have learnt it like a parrot and we repeat it. So we have to take ourselves where we are as materialists and must take the help of matter and go on slowly until we become real spiritualists and feel ourselves spirits, understand the spirit and find that this world which we call the infinite is but a gross external form of that world which is behind. And he also once said, materialism and all its miseries can never be conquered by materialism. So, Swami Vivekananda clearly understood what is the nature of reality. He understood that the world that we live in is materialistic. We live in a materialistic world and we need to acknowledge this and we need to start where we are and move towards spirituality. Swami Vivekananda's approach, his lifestyle, his teachings were very different from that of Osho's. But yet, I think both of them were pointing us towards that same reality. Both of them in their own way were telling us that there is no distinction between material and spirit. And this world is simply the expression of consciousness. Although we can see stark contrast when it comes to the lifestyles of these two spiritual teachers, when we go a little deeper, what they were telling us was all the same. Swami Vivekananda, through his simple lifestyle, was trying to tell us that even without anything, even without any luxury, even without any opulence, he can be complete, he can be fulfilled, and he can live in absolute peace while being detached from the external world. This was what Swami Vivekananda was trying to convey. Whereas Osho was trying to show us that even with all the luxury, even with all the opulence, even with the 90 Rolls Royces, and even with all the wealth, he can be still fulfilled, still absolutely peaceful, and still be absolutely detached from those things that he possessed. This was what Osho was trying to show us. And in section 4, we will look at the life and the teachings of Sadhguru when it comes to money and spirituality. And he is sort of a balance between these two figures when it comes to money. To quote him directly here, he says, there is nothing unhealthy about money. Money is just the means. People simply seek different things through money. And he also says, keep money in your pocket. There is no problem with that. But when money comes to the head, it becomes perversion, it becomes greed, and that is when the problem starts. So, as per the teachings of Sanatana Dharma and the ancient scriptures of Hinduism, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha are called Chaturvida Purusharthas. These are the fourfold aims or goals of human life. Here, Dharma means morality and responsibility, Artha means wealth, Kama means sense pleasures, Moksha means liberation. So these four aspects were considered goals of every human life. In ancient civilizations and in the teachings of Sanatana Dharma, wealth or money was never looked at negatively. It was considered as simply a need of life. But we need to understand the sequence of these attainments. Always Dharma used to come first. Lord Rama throughout his life followed Dharma. Lord Krishna followed Dharma. So the ancient scriptures of India tell us that if we follow our Dharma properly and if we follow the moral values and our responsibilities towards our job, towards our family, towards this country and towards this world in the right way, then the next three aims of life, which is Artha, that is wealth, Kama, that is sense pleasures, and Moksha, which is liberation or enlightenment, can be attained. So Dharma was given the first prominence. These four Purusharthas are the inherent values of the universe. And through this, we need to understand that money by itself is not the problem, but our attachment to money is the problem. Even Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, be detached from the outcomes of your action. Be detached from this external world to experience absolute fulfillment. So yes, you can be spiritual and be wealthy, because with wealth and money, you can impact the society. You can help your family, you can take care of your community and do so much more. So have no hesitation when it comes to earning money. We also need to understand here that everything is energy, and this entire universe and everything within it is an expression in consciousness. It's a projection in consciousness, and everything is spirit. So let us now understand a few points about money and wealth. Money is a powerful force and a form of energy that influences our lives beyond its material form. It provides opportunities for personal and collective growth and can be channeled towards positive endeavors to make a significant impact in the world. Money represents the flow of energy. It represents the flow of resources and interconnectedness of individuals and communities. And money empowers an individual. A good person, when he acquires money, he is empowered to do more good things in this world. A bad person, when he is empowered by money, he is empowered to do more bad things in this world. So money by itself is neutral, and it simply enhances our power to do things in this world. We should also realize that giving generously leads to receiving abundantly. And the law of giving operates on the principle of reciprocity. And true wealth is not just about money, it's about appreciating life as a whole. And it is about recognizing the richness of the heart and spirit and everything in this world. Money can be a force for positive change, and we must realize this. And finally, we must recognize the fact that our situation with money and our financial circumstances are the reflection of our internal state. So we need to first fix our relationship with the money, and we must cultivate the mindset of abundance in order to truly experience abundance in this world. So now let us go through some of the points which we need to understand to know the relationship between money and spirituality, and to know how to look at money in our lives. Point 1, money is simply a tool. It is neither good nor bad. Point 2, there is nothing right or wrong about money. The problem starts only when we become obsessed with it and when we are enslaved by it. Point 3, through money we seek freedom. So money by itself is nothing. It's simply a piece of paper. All of us, we are seeking something else through money. We seek a nice lifestyle, we seek nice food, we seek comfort, we seek freedom, we seek all these things through money. And the important thing to understand here is that money will provide us all these things up to a certain level. Of course, money is needed for us to be free. Even to pursue spirituality and even to discuss all these things, we need money. I need a camera to shoot this, I need a computer to upload this video, you need something to watch this. So to do anything we need money. So it is important to acknowledge the significance of money and to show gratitude towards it. But at the same time, we should also understand the limitation of money. Although money gives us freedom up to a certain level, it cannot do anything beyond that. As per the teachings of Upanishads, money and wealth can never give us absolute fulfillment. For absolute fulfillment, we must seek the true source of fulfillment. Point number 4, use money but do not let money use you. So we must become conscious about this, and although we must respect money and we must value money, we should not be obsessed by it and we should not be enslaved by it. We need to understand that it is simply a tool and we need to use it as a tool in order to achieve what we want in this life. And point 5, we need to understand that everything is spiritual. Like Osho said, there is no distinction between material and spirit. This universe is an organic unity. This is the teaching of Advaitha Vedanta also. As per the teachings of Vedanta, this universe is a projection in consciousness, and every aspect of this universe is consciousness, and even money is consciousness. In that way, we must understand the nature of reality and we must strive towards conscious living.